Alright, so let me explain. No, you are not watching old video that I got mixed up and something I decided I wanted to show you again later. The exact same thing. I have pulled the entire front end back apart. I've already started putting it back together, but when I went out to ride it, amazingly, yes, it did do good. Bearings and everything felt real solid. Steering and everything felt tight. Like I said, went from one hand down no hand, kind of just checked for vibration. But I could not get it out of my mind that it really felt like I was having to sit with my left hand slightly further up than my right. And I kept trying to look down my tubes and my upper and lower trees, and it just did not feel like it was lining up. And I started thinking back to what I had done to actually get this aligned. And I remember when I had the accelerator cables as well as the brake hard line not bolted down here, that I had to slide the tubes back out of it to move all that to where it needs to go. And I slid with the wheel fender and everything back up into it. And when I did that, there was a slight kink that I was anticipating that when I put the tubes back up through it would kind of correct that out of it. But I had already tightened my pinch bolt from doing the adjustment on my sway, back and forth sway. And by doing that, I had basically set my bottom tree crooked compared to my top tree. So in turn, what it was is, yes, my left hand was further up. Headlight was actually aiming off to the right slightly so that my wheel would be running straight. I have walked you through to where I'm at least at this point. I have already pulled, obviously, front wheel, front fender back off. I pulled the tubes out of it. I loosened up my pinch bolt, what do they call it, a bridge pinch bolt at the top that sets your neck. Undid it, undid my pinch bolts holding my forks in, slid the forks up further because I actually had the cap flush with it. And obviously it was able to set before, but shoving the entirety of the tube through it, it's forcing it to line everything up. Then I tightened down my pinch bolts here, and then I retightened this pinch bolt. So in theory, everything, I know looking from above, the top to bottom tree looks a lot better now. I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting the wheel caliper fender back on and see how my alignment looks from there. I think, in theory, that should solve what I had done. But, I mean, maybe it's chalked up as a learning experience, rookie mistake. But I would rather let y'all know, be transparent, that I walked through the steps of, get this together, then get this together, then adjust your sway back and forth. In doing that, I still did something out of order to where it allowed it to be kinked. Kinked's not necessarily kinked, but just not fully aligned top to bottom tree, which would then align the wheel running straight with the headlight, handlebars, all that in line. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to make it look like I do everything perfect first try. Everything I do is learned as I go. So hopefully most people can relate to that. I don't think everybody has the time or really the desire to go to MMI and learn the ins and outs of every Harley Davidson ever built. But like I said, I'll be as transparent as I can with mine and the ones that people have entrusted me to work on. That's part of it. That's why I'll go out and test ride them, make sure that everything is correct before we wipe our hands with it, call it good. So let's get this put back together, check that alignment out, and then I'm going to start working on the 2013 Ultra Classic, and then I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, but I actually went with Dad today and we picked up another bike that'll be a project bike to make a little bit more content on. It's pretty neat. I will say it is the first bike I've ever owned that's older than I am, so I'm pretty excited about that. Completely different platform, not used to working on. Throw it down in the comments if you can tell me what these keys come from. Like I said, I've never had a bike this old. Not old to some people that collect, you know, the old shovel head, knucklehead, stuff like that, but old to me. So everything I've done, I've tinkered with the M8s, but most everything I have or friends have are all V-twin. So that's what I'm used to. But like I said, I try not to get too deep into the motors. Everything I do is pretty much external or just part ordering, installation. So it's just not necessarily as power mechanics driven, but kind of setting them up for ergonomics, comfortability, as well as just looks. I mean, I'm a sucker for polishing stuff up, making it as clean, good looking as it can be. But all right, enough of me rambling. Let's get this put back together. All right, first thing, what are we looking at? You're gonna have upper fork bridge pinch bolt. Per the manual, you're looking at 29 to 37 Newton meters or 21 to 27 foot-pounds. Double check that, and then now we are going to do the pinch bolts for the fork tubes. Loosen them back up. And I'm going to run it with the cap at the very top. So you'll actually see a line where your cap comes off, add fluids and stuff. I'm going to look straight across and just try to barely see that line there. So I'm gonna let it hang up just a little bit. I know a lot of people, and I think that's actually how I had done it before, to where I flushed out the cap to the top of it. But honestly, with the cap for your neck bearings, and that kind of puts it on a single plane, so it looks symmetrical. We're gonna go with it right there. Like I say, it's just enough to snug it down and hold it. Match this one up. And on those pinch bolts, you are looking at upper and lower fork bracket pinch bolts. All models except for the wide glide. It's going to be 34 to 41 Newton meters or 25 to 30 foot-pounds. Set mine to 36, just slightly over. Right. So now we got 4 tubes. All right, I'll get the forks down there. Then get the front wheel put back on. This side. All right, so front end's back together. not sure really if you can tell through the camera, but that right there looks a lot more straight than what we had. Kind of a main thing I'm focused on is the front wheel up through the handlebars being in a straight line. Pretty happy with that. Obviously, I'm not gonna know for sure until I go to ride it. Make sure my left hand's not sitting a little far forward like it was before, but that'll wrap that up for now. Well, that didn't work out how I wanted. Get out and get the front end tested on it, and she decided to rain right now. Made it out of the garage just long enough to get this thing soaking wet. Try again in a minute. All right, finally got some decent weather. Let's go test out this front end. All right, made it back. She done good. She done how she was supposed to. I think it really benefited from the new wheel bearings we put in, as well as the neck bearings. I think I got it dialed pretty well. I like it being a little bit tighter than looser. No shakes, no vibrations. Kind of deadened a lot of the stuff I was feeling in the handlebars up front, because of course I got solid risers on this one. But yep, she done good. So that checked out. Next we're going to be, I got another little surprise. I got a box. Well, everything in that box goes on the rear end. So Rear end comes next. Mainly we're just needing to swap out rear tire. This one's about toasted. She was peeling in a couple spots. Get that swapped out. Got wheel bearings for the rear too. We'll get those put on, and then, well, I'll tell you, for what goes on the backside, I'm gonna have to flip these shocks around, put the reservoir on bottom. Kind of wasn't doing it. I might run into these rear passenger pegs, but we'll tackle that when we get to it. But that's what's next for this bike. I appreciate y'all following along. By all means, I'm just an old buddy working in his garage, but the more y'all watch, the more you share, like, subscribe, things of that nature. You know, the whole gist for YouTube stuff. It'll keep me doing this, and it keeps me able to buy all the tools, all the parts, all the stuff to actually show y'all how I do it, how I build what I've got. Like I said, every view, every like, comment helps me out, gets me to hopefully keep doing this for as long as I can. Like I said, I'm an engineer by trade, so I may end up back in that field at some point, but for right now, we're gonna go down this road and see where it takes us. Of course, I'd much prefer to make videos of riding bikes, working on bikes, a little bit of house stuff I know I'd mentioned, but keep me doing what I like. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate anybody that takes the time, even if it's just 2 of you. That's more than me and my wife. Even if it's just 2 of you, I mean, it's more than me just watching them. So I appreciate that. But yeah, stay tuned. I got more bikes to work on, more stuff to do. Like I said, we got the rear end on this bike. But till the next one, appreciate y'all.